Okay, let me tell you something. Middle school is probably gonna be the most interesting place I went to in my entire life. Like, you have the guys who haven't reached puberty at like 15, and you have the 13-year-old that looks like a middle-aged man with a wife and kids. You have the 12-year-old 7'8" basketball player that's too tall to walk through doors normally, and you have the 15-year-old that can pass in between an average guy's legs and still not touch their back with their head. Oh yeah, and by the way, you may have seen this guy throughout my videos a lot. Yeah, his name is Mauser, and I will be calling this guy Mauser in the future. There were always some kind of fights and groups and conflicts going on. Like in my middle school, there was always groups of boys, and they were always together in like groups of 3 or 4, maybe more, maybe less. They were sort of like a gang, but not very rich or dangerous. But they never hanged out with anyone else other than the people that were in their group. Like, we literally had gang wars, bro. One gang, in quotations, would meet with another gang on the street or a football field or something, and they would just start beating each other up. I was pretty liked in middle school, so I could hang out with whoever I wanted. So I would just kind of hang out with whoever I wanted that day. I never was in one of these groups. They would kind of turn me against other people. Like, they knew I hang out with everyone, so they would just kind of, yeah, man, you know, this guy said this about you, or this guy said this about your girlfriend, and I would be like, really, I didn't know that. And that guy would be like my friend that I also hanged out with, but they had a problem with. These guys had their backstories, bro. Like, one I greatly remember is like, there was this one big group of like 8, 7 boys, and it split off into 3, and they all hate each other now. Though also these groups will always changing their members. Like, I know this is cringe saying this, but they would kick out people out of their groups and add new ones all the time, and always there was a leader of the group that never broke off or was kicked out. Like, bro, this was so humorous to watch because I was neutral and I just hanged out with everyone. I remember like a few years ago, I was in 6th grade coming to school one day, and just no one was in class. Like, the bell was gonna ring for start at like 8 a.m. and I was waiting alone in my classroom at like 7:55, and only then did everyone pull up, bro, like a secret service, bro. Everyone came at almost the same time. Then around also in 6th grade, there was rumors that some random girl from our school inserted a goddamn blue Sharpie into her and recorded it. And literally everyone had that video except me. I still haven't seen it. Though I don't really want to see that. It has been 2 years since that, and I still haven't seen it, and I'm doing completely fine. I don't need to see that. In middle school, there was like girls that severely needed attention. Like, I have a girlfriend that I went in middle school with. I'm not planning to break up with her, by the way. And there was her friend in quotations that really wasn't a friend. Like, she became mean to my girlfriend once I started hanging out with my girlfriend. And I remember one time, like, just raising my tone a bit in the hall, like, come here so you can hug your friend. Your friend is my girlfriend, right? Because keep in mind, she was on the complete other side of the hallway, as well as there were people around her talking, so I had to raise my tone so she can hear me. She didn't come. My girlfriend went to a different class that time, and I was going to class with her friend, thinking nothing of it, and I just sat. Then all of a sudden, her friend started yelling at me like, "Why were you screaming at me? This is why I don't want to talk to you." I'm like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And she's like, "I want to hear it, you're mean." And I'm like, "Okay, sure, buddy, I don't even want to talk to you." This girl also purposely made the boys to always be around her. Like, the boys in my class would be saying to her things like, "I found your new boyfriend, you can have sex with him." And she obviously enjoyed that kind of attention. So yeah, you have the girls who crave attention all the time. Then there's like the crackhead / smoker guys who started smoking at like 11 or 12. I had this guy in my class. He was pretty popular, and at the time he always had to mention that he like every time he spoke. In Croatia, we had this thing called sat raznika, which is basically a whole school hour we had just to talk with our main teacher. I kid you not, this guy mentioned smoking like literally every time he spoke. Like, he could not just shut up about it. Like, the teacher asked us, "How did you spend your Easter break?" And he's like, "I put 10 cigarettes in my mouth and I lighted them all at once." and she just couldn't care less. Like the first few times he mentioned that he smokes, she tried to tell him to stop, but it was obvious he wasn't going to stop, so she just kind of started ignoring him. And I would do that too, to be honest, if I were her. Like, also, the subjects in middle school can actually be entertaining, and the most boring and ear-hurting is ear-hurting even a word? I don't know. Ear-hurting thing known to mankind. Like, geography, in my personal opinion, was the best subject we had, probably because we had a chill 30-year-old tall dude as our geography teacher, and he presented and teach the class geography very well. Like, I think our class had the best grades in geography or English, I don't know. And then there's physics. Oh my god, I hate physics. Like, this was the most boring thing I've ever heard. I hated physics. In all subjects, I had a strong A or a B that was close to an A. In physics, I just barely had a B, which was the worst I ever did in middle school. Yes, I know I'm a nerd, shut. Then there's like the bullies who would just bully you for no reason other than they didn't like you. Personally, I didn't get bullied at the end of middle school, but at the beginning, I was almost always the one who got bullied, and my mental state really deteriorated because of that. Also, there's the popular guy that literally everyone in school and outside of school knew. Like, there's this one popular athletic footballer kid I went to middle school with. My mother literally knew him from TV. He now lives in another city, so he can pursue football, which honestly, I respect that. Like, go chase your goals, man. I really like that guy. He wasn't mean or irritating at all. There was many other stories I can tell, like when I broke my arms 3 times, and you know, it was really embarrassing coming to school with a cast 3 times on my arms. Like, I broke my right arm once in April this year, my left arm once in September 2023, and also my left arm once in October 2022, and because I fell off my bike 3 times. And I had to be in a cast for a month each time. So in total, I was in a cast for 3 months, and I had to come to school like that. You know, it really was embarrassing coming to school in April this year, especially because, bro, it was the 3rd time I was in a cast, and no one else from my class ever was in a cast. Also, there's the time I drank water from a sewer on purpose. Like, I remember with a few friends, we had this camping thing, like a small underbrush or a small like forest on the outskirts of our city. When we kind of camped there, like set fires, built tents, etc. Though there was this sewer right next to us, and one time we were really thirsty. Our dumbasses decided to take that water in plastic bottles and drink it all. Like, each one of us drank 1 entire liter of sewer water. We didn't even think of boiling it. Like, we had everything we needed to boil it at least, but we just wouldn't. We drank, each one of us, like 1 liter. I remember coming home that time, and I had to wake up during the night like 5 times to throw up. And my mother obviously saw that, and we had to go to the doctor. And it was really embarrassing saying to the doctor, like, yeah, bro, I drank sewer water from the sewer on purpose. So yeah, this is part of my stories from middle school. I hope you enjoyed this video, as it's a bit different. It's story time rather than the types of school people content which I usually do. I don't want to milk that content even though it brings me good views. I don't want to be the types of male teenagers or types of people in school guy. I hope you enjoyed this one, and goodbye.